Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Psychiatrist appeals for better conflict resolution strategies following several deadly domestic disputes. Psychiatrist and Senator Dr. Safari Longmore is appealing to citizens to find ways to work out their differences before they escalate. Her call follows 3 instances of domestic disputes, which all ended deadly. She is encouraging Jamaicans to resolve their issues amicably. A man in custody after he allegedly stabbed and killed his wife at their home in Berkshire Hall, Linstead, St. Catherine on Friday morning. Dead is 34-year-old Nikisha DaCosta Walters. Reports are that about 2 a.m., an argument developed between DaCosta Walters and her husband, 33-year-old Peter Walters. During the altercation, a knife is alleged was used by Walters to inflict wounds to Nikisha. She later died. Walters reportedly turned himself into the police. This incident followed 2 others of similar nature. A 42-year-old man was stabbed to death allegedly by his girlfriend during a dispute on Anderson Road in Almonton, Central Kingston on Tuesday night. The deceased man has since been identified as O'Neill Reed, otherwise called Bad Bush. Reed's girlfriend, 37-year-old Natoya Foster, is currently in police custody. Police reports are that Reed visited Foster, who is the mother of his child, and accused her of infidelity. Reed, according to reports, started to abuse Foster, who allegedly used a pair of scissors to stab Reed in the chest. Foster, it was said, later ran to Almonton Police Station, where she is expected to be charged for murder. Meanwhile, on Monday in a rural district called Duffer in Louisville, St. Catherine, a man allegedly stabbed to death by his ex-girlfriend in the presence of his 8-year-old son. The deceased has been identified as 35-year-old Alisa Patience. Police reports indicate that Miss Patience was attacked and stabbed in the neck. 34-year-old Sharon Collins has since been charged with her murder. Reacting to these incidents, Dr. Longmore notes that stabbing is a passionate act which reflects the level of hurt incurred.
Angry people are hurt people. Hurt people get angry, and this is how it plays out. So it's also a reflection of the level of hurt that the other person might be experiencing. And how do we not cause this hurt? How do we, learn how to resolve our situations between, when you have a difference in opinion, when you have a discontent, when you have anger about something, when you're hurt about something and the anger is manifesting. Within our families, the breakdown of the family structure in terms of conflict resolution, in terms of spending time to talk about issues, which is what we hear sometimes in our music, which is what we sometimes see on our screens, which is what we see in our media. And we have to recognize that this has impact, and this is what we're seeing playing out. If you realize that your anger is reaching a point where it is uncontrollable, or you are it's almost like you lose train of thought, step away from the situation. Get a mediator. If you recognize that somebody has hurt you in such a way, do not engage. Yeah, if you need to remove yourself from the situation, do that. Nobody is worth that type of damage to yourself. And if you have an issue, try your best to address it before it becomes a bigger issue. If you have a problem with someone, talk it out.
PM Holness warns against demonizing the private sector and business principles. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is warning against what he sees as a dangerous practice of the demonizing of private sector and business principles.
If the HAJ wasn't being run on firm business principles, it would not be able to deliver these houses today. And I'm saying these things, and I know they rub some Jamaicans the wrong way, they don't understand it. But there has to be a culture change, where whenever we say we have to do things in partnership with the private sector, we have to be business-like. There is a sense in people's mind that somehow that means exploitation. Somehow that means poor people not going benefit. Somehow that means it's rich man business. And we see it seeping through certain narratives, which is dangerous for you, the average person in Jamaica. How is this being built? It is not the HAJ alone that is building this. The HAJ is managing, preparing designs, but it is being built in a joint venture. Another word for that is a partnership with a private sector company. And the only way that we are going to be able to get the horsepower, the strength and speed to deliver the benefits to you quickly is if we can build real partnerships with the private sector. That's what we need. Not to be decrying our private sector and to be casting them as, exploiters, but to be embracing them, because it is in that partnership that we are going to be able to deliver these houses.
Holness administration restructuring agencies to prevent squatting on public land. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he will no longer allow squatting on public land as he restructures the country's agencies to provide adequate housing. Mr. Holness was speaking at the handing over ceremony for the Housing Agency of Jamaica, Catherine Estates, Friday. Prime Minister Holness says while he understood the frustration faced by many in the inability to get homes, development must be ordered. The Prime Minister says his administration is working to ensure that Jamaicans have access to housing. He says the National Housing Trust and Housing Agency of Jamaica are being restructured to ensure this is a reality.
People just moved onto the land, staked it out, and said, this is mine. I appreciate and I understand the need for housing and why people would do that. Because the housing market was not moving fast enough to provide you with the options to formally own and purchase your home. So we understand. And that is why the government is restructuring the NHT and the HAJ to make them more efficient, more robust in the delivery of service so that they can provide the houses faster to you. Can you imagine if 70,000 houses are placed on the market in these price range? Then people would say, instead of me going to go capture land and get in a conflict with people, I just wait till the house come on the road on the market and I buy it. And that is what you want. However, there are some persons who, no matter how much house you put up, they believe in going and taking over private land or public land and say it's theirs. And there are some who are even as audacious to say that they don't own the land, they don't have any title for the land, but yet they're selling the land. They want road. There is no road. They want the government to put water there. Government never even know about it. And they want title after spending all this money building on the land. It's a real challenge. So not too far from here, there is a community where this is happening. And when we did the satellite survey, we see some massive structures going up, 50 times the size of what is here. None of those people have titles for the land. I'm being very clear when I say we will not allow you to capture and take the public's property. Some of them are being encouraged by gangs because the gang problem is so insidious that they want to take over and control communities. And some of these are being financed by illicit gain from criminal activity. I want to be very clear that we will not allow you to capture, squat, or illegally take over public land. It will not happen, and we will not allow it in any way, shape, or form to deprive the people of the country from structured development, because the land that they are taking is the same land that the NHT and the HAJ is going to need to build housing.
TEF invests nearly $7 million in 2022 International Coastal Cleanup Day. The tourism enhancement, TEF has invested approximately $6.9 million in this year's International Coastal Cleanup ICC Day initiative, which is spearheaded locally by the Jamaica Environmental Trust JET. Speaking at the recent launch at the event in Port Royal, TEF's executive officer, Dr. Kerry Wallace, said the partnership with JET not only improved the island's tourism product, but also encourages a behavioral change in Jamaicans that is required to combat pollution in the long run. The assets of Jamaica from a tourism perspective include its natural beauty, and obviously, it makes sense for us to invest heavily in maintaining and protecting that natural beauty. Protecting the environment is one of the steps, but I am hoping for an overarching change of attitude, a change of mindset, recognizing the value, what we have, and then converting that into wealth opportunities for our people, said Wallace. This year's event, which is being hosted under the theme No Dirty Up Jamaica, will begin at approximately 7:30 a.m. on September 17, with a Policy Days of School cart track serving as the event flagship locate. Each volunteer group must have a minimum of 5 people and a maximum of 6. JET intends to clean up 150 sites this year, including 5 underwater locations. The goal is to gather 5,000 volunteers for the island-wide cleanup efforts. Participants are also being encouraged to follow the COVID-19 protocols. Over the last year, COVID-19 has significantly impacted the staging of ICC. However, with the lessons that we have learned, ICC 2022 is set to run to the scale of previous years. Since JET became the national ICC coordinators, the event has grown from 1,700 volunteers in 2008 to over 12,400 in 2019. Each year, you have more groups coordinating their cleanup activities exercise and, unfortunately, more trash being collected, said JET CEO Dr. Moody. the ocean conservancy based in the United States of America, which founded ICC, created the CleanSwell mobile application as a new component of ICC Day 2022 to aid with data collection. This will make the procedure more efficient by eliminating requirements for traditional paper collection cards. As scientists, we know that data is very important. First of all, it identifies the activities and the general sources of pollution. The data can be used for pollution prevention efforts, influence legislation, and promote public awareness and education, said Moody. Since 2008, JET has received more than $71 million in grant financing from the theft. With this assistance, JET has kept track of how 879 groups and 75,421 volunteers have picked up more than 945,977.65 pounds of trash. Please remember to subscribe, like,